unrated newscast broadcasting live from 12 studios. This is News 12 at noon.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Right now at noon, a suspect now behind bars in connection with a deadly 2017 drive-by shooting where authorities were able to find him.
North Korea conducts more missile tests. I'm Nicole Killian with how concerned the White House is about the latest developments.
And another scam going around in Texoma, how to protect yourself and your money. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for News 12 at noon. I'm Christy Waite.
And I'm Jeremy Thomas. Breaking news here at noon. The final suspect in a 2017 shooting that left a 5-year-old Dennison boy dead and his brother badly injured is now in the Grayson County Jail.
News 12's Braley McCoy is live where Antonio Prado was just booked in minutes ago. Braley, where'd they catch him?
Jeremy and Christy, and 19-year-old Antonio Prado was caught and arrested in Mexico, transferred to U.S. Marshals, and then brought here to Sherman about 30 minutes ago by Texas Rangers and Dennison Police. Prado is believed to be one of the trigger men in the drive-by shooting that left 5-year-old Kason Powell dead and his 11-year-old brother Zaquavion seriously hurt. He and 20-year-old Ryan Clay are accused of firing into the home, hitting both boys. Accomplice 19-year-old Sabrina Nino told police Kason's older brother didn't pay her for a quarter ounce of marijuana. Clay and Nino were arrested the day after the shooting, but Prado eluded capture for nearly 2 years. District Attorney Brett Smith had this message for criminals who flee Grayson County.
We will take whatever measure is necessary to seek justice, that no matter where someone goes, no matter how long they've been gone, if they commit a crime like this in Grayson County, we'll scour the ends of the earth to bring them into custody, bring them back to this jail, and hold them accountable for their actions.
Now all 3 suspects face capital murder charges. Tonight, hear more from the DA and police about how they caught him and what's next. Live in Sherman, Braley McCoy, News 12.
All right, thank you, Braley. The Durant City Council wrapped up an hours-long session last night to discuss the outcome of City Manager Tim Rundle's position. The council voted 4-1 to accept the resignation of City Manager Tim Rundle, stating that his last day will be Friday, August 2nd. Rundle announced to the council in June that he would not seek an extension to his contract that expires in December. Rundle told the council that he and Mayor Odin Gruby had a private conversation and decided it was best that he leave the position for, quote, the good of the people, end quote. Council member for Ward 1, Jerry Tomlinson, was the only person to vote against the resignation.
He's been good for our city and been good to the city and city staff and employees. I think highly of him, and we're going to miss him. I'm going to miss him. He's not only been the city manager that I was a part of hiring, but he's become a friend, and we're going to miss his talent, his abilities at the city, and I think we've got some challenges in front of us.
No word yet on who will serve as city manager after Rundle leaves this week.
Well, another scam going around Texoma to tell you about. Someone has been calling people and claiming to be with the Calera Fire Department and accepting donations for an injured firefighter. The department says they have no injured firefighters, and if you receive this call, you need to report it to police.
A 65-year-old Oklahoma woman has been charged after body cam video shows her interaction with a police officer when she refused to sign a ticket that would have cost her about $80.
Christine Stanward reports.
Well, I did issue for a defective equipment. It's $80. You have till September 16th to take care of this. Get you to sign there where the X is.
So you don't even give a warning for this?
You've been driving around for 6 months like that.
I'm truthful.
Well, I'm not going to give you a warning for something you've been driving for 6 months.
Deborah Hamill not willing to pay up.
Well, I don't want to sign it because I don't want to do $80.
You don't want to sign it?
No, because I don't think that I deserve to pay $80.
The officer asks her to get out of her car. She refuses.
You be fair with me and I'll be fair with you.
Step out.
No.
You're under arrest.
No, I'm not.
Then it turns aggressive.
Step
You
out.
are full of because you're not placing me under no damn arrest.
She refuses to get out.
Take off.
Shut up and give me that and I'll sign it.
Then takes off. The officer gets in his car and follows her on a short chase. She finally pulls over. The officer pulls out his gun.
Get out of the car!
And then pulls Hamill out of her truck. That's when you see Hamill kick him in the groin. The officer deploying his taser after she refuses to put her hands behind her back, finally placing her under arrest.
Do you realize you just got yourself in a whole lot more trouble?
Yeah, I tried to kick you because I'm a country girl.
Christine Stanwood, KOCO 5 News.
Scary sight. Crews are battling a fire at the Exxon refinery in Baytown, Texas. The sprawling refinery is one of the largest in the world. So far, there are no details on what started the fire. Smoke pouring from the fire is visible for miles, but authorities have yet to call for people to shelter in place. Well, let's take a moment to talk about the weather. Meteorologist Tom Miller is with us now. Tom, what can we expect for the rest of our day?
It is going to be hot, no doubt about it. Temperatures in the mid to upper 90s, heat index values approaching 104. So we need to be careful out there in this heat. Well, let's take a look at the satellite. You can see a few fair weather clouds around, but again, not enough clouds to really provide us that much needed shade. And as we take a look at our mudcast, it's just not going to be pleasant over the next few days, as again that humidity is going to make that heat index value approach 105 each day as we head into Friday. Now, we are under fair skies, plenty of sunshine, but some changes to take place, but not today. Look at those high temperatures. Our forecast is coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Tom. The Trump administration is facing another potential setback on the nuclear diplomacy front with North Korea.
Kim Jong-un's military launched 2 more short-range missiles overnight. Nicole Killian reports from the White House.
South Korea says North Korea launched 2 short-range ballistic missiles before dawn today. The weapons traveled about 155 miles from North Korea's east coast before falling into the ocean. The latest provocation follows a similar missile test by Pyongyang last week. It comes nearly a month after President Trump and Kim Jong-un met at the demilitarized zone, but failed to reach a deal to shut down North Korea's nuclear program.
The White House says it's aware of reports of North Korea's recent missile launch and will continue to monitor the situation.
President Trump is working to get back to the negotiating table with the North Korean leader.
My relationship with Kim Jong-un is a very good one, as I'm sure you've seen. We'll see what happens. I can't tell you what's going to happen.
North Korea called last week's test a warning ahead of South Korea's planned military exercises with the U.S. next month. Further increasing tension, Kim Jong-un recently showed off a new submarine that can likely carry 3 ballistic missiles. Nicole Killian, CBS News, the White House.
Progressive and moderate presidential hopefuls battled it out over policy and the direction of the party in night 1 of the Democratic debate. Tonight will feature the race's frontrunners alongside 9 more candidates.
Laura Podesta reports from Detroit.
Night 1 of the Democratic debate in Detroit put divisions within the party on full display.
You can't just spring a plan on the world and expect it to succeed.
Moderates tried to make the case that going too far left will alienate voters.
So I think Democrats win when we run on real solutions, not impossible promises. When we run on things that are workable, not fairy tale economics.
Progressives pushed back.
You know, I don't understand why anybody goes to all the trouble of running for president of the United States just to talk about what we really can't do and shouldn't fight for.
The clashes were mainly over policy differences, including Senator Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All plan.
For senior citizens, it will finally include dental care, hearing aids, and eyeglasses.
But you don't know.
Second of all,
you don't know that,
second
Bernie.
of all,
We'll come to you in a second,
I do know, and I wrote the damn bill.
The frontrunner in the race, Joe Biden, wasn't at last night's debate, and candidates steered clear of his name. Tonight, the former vice president will be center stage.
Candidates are going to go after Biden, probably. And the question for Biden is, you know, if he has maybe 1 or 2 people coming after him, you can manage that. What if 6 candidates are coming after him? That's a lot to handle.
9 other presidential hopefuls will join Biden tonight, including California Senator Kamala Harris.
I will express differences and articulate them.
Polls show Biden leading because Democrats view him as the candidate most likely to be able to beat President Trump in 2020. Laura Podesta, CBS News, Detroit.
Trade talks with China wrap up in a flash, and a tip isn't all your food delivery driver wants. I'm Diane King Hall at the New York Stock Exchange. Of those stories and more in your CBS Money Watch report.